There's a rabbit turning on a spit over a fire in the snow, skinned clean, browned perfect, fat dripping into the coals, except there is no fat dripping, and that is the whole story. To a hungry man lost in the winter woods, that rabbit is the most beautiful sight in the world, and it might be the very thing that kills him. Not poison, not spoilage, the meat itself, because there is a way to starve to death with a full belly, and it took down strong men all across this country. Trappers, soldiers, whole parties of mountain men, eating 2 and 3 pounds of meat every single day and getting weaker by the hour. My people knew that kind of hunger long before any doctor put a name on it, and we knew exactly how to beat it. Everybody worries about bears out there. In 64 years in these Oklahoma woods, I have crossed paths with plenty of bears, and not one of them was ever the thing I feared in winter. The thing the old ones feared was a forest full of lean game and nothing else. So stay with me to the end, because the first thing the old hunters ate off a fresh kill is the exact part most folks today toss in the trash. That one habit is the whole difference between the men who walked out of hard winters and the men who did not. I'm Wes Kingfisher. I'm 64 years old, of Cherokee heritage, and I was raised by my grandmother Ada in the hills of eastern Oklahoma, where I still live today on the same few acres. She taught me the plants in the kitchen. My grandfather and my uncles taught me the woods. 40 years on the powwow trail, from the northern plains to the desert southwest, taught me the rest. The old ones never wrote this down, so listen close. Now here is the myth, and you have heard it your whole life. If you're ever lost in the wild, find meat. Meat is survival. Trap a rabbit, take a deer, and you will make it home. Every survival show says it. Every paperback manual at the sporting goods store says it. And the history of this continent is littered with the graves of men who did exactly that and died anyway. The French trappers up in the North Country called it mal de caribou, the caribou sickness. The American mountain men called it rabbit starvation. Strong young men, eating pounds of lean meat today, and inside of a week, the trouble started. A hunger that no amount of meat would touch. Then the weakness, then the sick stomach, and the loose bowels, and a heart hammering away in the chest. Some of those men died within weeks, with meat still hanging in the trees around their camp. The old trappers had a saying about it, that a man can starve faster on rabbit than on nothing at all. And here is what matters for us. Across 10,000 years on this land, winter and hunger took more of our people than every bear on this continent put together. The nations that came through those winters, year after year, century after century, came through because they understood something about meat that the modern myth gets exactly backwards. I am going to show you what happens inside a starving body when the only fuel going in is lean meat, because that is the part nobody ever explains, and we are getting there. Now, everything I am teaching you today has its own page. In a book I put together called The Native American Way, 101 remedies, skills, and recipes that kept my people alive for 10,000 years. It is the writing down of what was never written down, the knowledge my grandmother Ada and the elders of Indian country handed me around 1,000 fires, laid out plain, step by step. The backyard plants the old ones used and exactly how they used them. The teas and salves from Ada's kitchen, the wild foods and when to gather them. Food preservation the old way, fire and shelter and water skills, and the traditional recipes that fed the people through every winter, including the ones I am talking about today. It is $17 right now, marked down from $47. $17 against what one trip down the pharmacy aisle or one gadget at the sporting goods store cost you. 10,000 years of testing. That is the guarantee on this one. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up. Give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. All right. Now, let me show you how a full belly can lie to a starving man. Start with the animal itself. A wild rabbit in January is one of the leanest creatures walking this earth. Skin one out sometime and look for the fat. You will find almost none. A thin ribbon along the back if the year was kind, and most years, nothing worth mentioning. The deer are not much better by late winter. A buck that was heavy with tallow in October has burned nearly all of it off by February, fighting through the rut and then fighting through the snow. The old calendars all across Indian country knew this season. Late winter was the hungry time, the hardest moon of the year, when the dried stores ran thin and the game ran lean. So picture the trap now. A man is lost and starving in that exact season. The myth tells him meat is survival. And the woods hand him the one kind of meat that cannot save him. Here is the beginning of the why. Your body runs on 3 fuels: fat, starch, and protein. Protein is the body's building material, muscle, and repair, and the body can burn it for fuel in a pinch. But there's a ceiling on it. Your liver and your kidneys can only process so much protein in a day. And when everything coming in is lean muscle meat, you slam into that ceiling fast. Past the ceiling, the meat stops feeding you. Hold that thought about the ceiling, because it is the whole reason the old hunters ate what they ate first off a kill. And I promise the full answer is coming. Now, let me show you what the old ones built against this, because they did not just avoid the trap, they engineered their whole year around it. In these eastern woodlands, my people rendered bear fat every fall. A good fall bear carried thick slabs of it, and that fat was melted down slow over the fire into a clean oil that kept all winter in gourds and pots. My grandmother Ada still kept a jar of rendered fat on her shelf her whole life, and she cooked with it like her grandmother did. Bear oil was wealth. Families measured a good winter by how much of it sat in the larder. Our people out on the plains took it even further, and what they built might be the finest survival food any people ever made. Pemmican. Here's the old method, plain and slow. Take lean meat, buffalo in those days, deer works today. Slice it thin. Dry it hard over low smoke until it snaps like a stick. Pound the dried meat into a coarse powder. Now render your fat gentle over low heat until it runs clear. Pour the warm fat into the pounded meat. The measure is equal weights, 1 pound of dried meat to 1 pound of rendered fat. That is 1 to 1, equal parts. And that ratio is the entire secret, because the fat carries the fuel the lean meat cannot. Mix in dried berries if you have them, packed into hide containers. Pemmican kept for years, and a few handfuls a day would carry a man across a frozen prairie. No modern ration has ever really improved on it. And right here in Cherokee country, the answer grew on trees. Hickory nuts. My people gathered them by the bushel every fall, and hickory nuts are rich with the exact thing winter meat lacks: good heavy fat. Ada made canucci, that is hickory nut soup, every autumn of my boyhood. Pounded hickory nuts, shaped into balls that kept in the cold, then simmered into a rich broth and poured over hominy or rice. I make it in her same kitchen every October. That soup is not a side dish. It is winter insurance, and the old ones knew it. You see the pattern now. Woodlands, plains, northwoods, desert. Everywhere I have traveled in Indian country, the old knowledge said the same thing underneath. The fall hunt was never just a hunt for meat. It was a harvest of fat, time for the exact weeks when the animals cared the most of it. Because our people understood that fat, not muscle, is what buys you a winter. That handles the old days, but it leaves you with today. So what do you do with this now, if you are ever in a genuinely hard spot or just filling your freezer this fall? Take your time with these. There is no rush. First, stop grading a kill by the muscle meat alone. Second, keep the organs. The liver, the heart, the kidneys all carry nourishment the muscle does not. Third, crack the long leg bones and get the marrow. Fourth, if you are taking fish, use the whole fish, not just 2 fillets off the sides. Fifth, gather fat from the land itself. Hickory nuts, walnuts, pecans, acorns, done the old way. Any of those alongside lean meat changes everything. And one more time, because it matters, lean meat alone is a trap. Lean meat plus fat is survival. That is the equation, and it has not changed in 10,000 years. Which brings us to the part I promised you at the start. Why did the old hunters, the moment a deer or a buffalo was down, crack open the leg bones and eat the marrow right there? Why did the choice portions, the marrow, the back fat, the fat behind the eyes, the rich organs, go first to the hunters and the elders, while the lean muscle got dried for later? Here's the mechanism, plain as I can make it. Your body can only draw somewhere around 1/3 of a day's fuel from protein before that ceiling I told you about slams down. When you eat past the ceiling, the broken down protein leaves waste behind, and the liver and kidneys drown in it faster than they can clear it. So the lean meat fills your stomach, poisons your blood slow, and starves you at the same time. That is how a man dies with a full belly. Fat has no such ceiling. Fat is pure, clean fuel. More than twice the energy of lean meat, pound for pound. The old hunters were not eating marrow first as a treat. They were reaching straight for the fuel and treating the muscle as the leftover. And the parts they prize most are the exact parts a modern hunter bones out and leaves on the gut pile. The myth says meat is survival. 10,000 winters of my people say fat is survival, and the meat just comes along with it. And that is the kind of thing my grandmother handed me for free. There are 101 of them in the Native American way, written out plain, step by step, so they do not die with me. The remedies, the wild foods, the survival skills, and the kitchen, all in one book for $17 instead of $47. Every winter you go without this knowledge, you are paying the store for a worse version of it. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time, there is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. So remember it this way. The rabbit on the spit is not a meal until there is fat beside it. Now tell me in the comments where your people are from. And if there is native blood in your family line like there is in so many American families, I would be honored to hear the story. I read every single one. Next time, I am going to show you the tree growing along nearly every creek in America that my people use for pain and fever. The same tree a certain famous little white pill was built on. And once you can spot it, you will never walk past a creek bank the same way again. Watto, my friends. That means thank you. Walk easy, and I'll see you down the trail.